My first ever book. It's really exciting that it's out, and today I really would like to speak about some of the themes behind it. It's not an overtly Christian book at all, but if you read and understand Jersey's history, the fingerprints of the church and of Christianity are everywhere. So, first of all, I'm going to give a quick overview of the book, then I'll give a reading, and finally talk about some of the implications of history, the power and the resonance of history for our world and our island and our church communities today. In between, Paul has asked me to make this very participative, so we have discussion times, 3 separate sessions. I'm really looking forward to your contribution today. So, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to read. This is taken from a recent talk that I gave at the Festival of Words, and it's a brief overview of what Jersey, the Hidden Histories, is all about. History is breaking in. It explodes over the Jersey skies with the force of an electrical storm. These are the words with which I open Jersey, the Hidden Histories, and it's meant to be a panoramic journey through the times, the turbulent life and times of this, our tiny island. It's told in a series of eyewitness accounts from those who actually watch history unfold in 12 chapters that span the centuries. My aim is to write history that seizes you by tooth and claw, that plunges you deep into the icy shock of reality, and that almost grabs you by the throat with direct emotional power. I call this approach immersive history, lying somewhere on the borderline between creative writing and a traditional history book. Every detail is researched. I spent a lot of time in Jersey Library, Jersey Archive, getting the facts straight. But every story is designed to read with the power and immediacy of a novel. The story is a circle. The prelude opens a long time ago in the magical summer of 1912, on the eve of the Great War, as the very first aeroplane ever seen in Jersey swoops down to land at St. Albans Bay. This sets the scene. And then as chapter 1 opens, we plunge back deep into the abyss of the past, to the very beginning of the island story, as those first primeval hunters strode across the icy tundra that linked us with France. 12 chapters follow, 12 chapters of history, seen, imagined through the eyes of those who witnessed them. Sir Walter Raleigh striding into the State's chamber, Queen Victoria travelling to Gorey Castle in the sultry summer heat, the Jersey fishing fleet making first landfall in Newfoundland. And my aim has always been to go for immediacy and impact. The gunshots as to Rulcourt's night invasion comes right here to the town church in the heart of St. Helier. The scheming as Karl Marx broods over there in Mulcaster Street at the Hotel de Europe, plotting revolution. And of course, with glamorous frenzy as Lily Langtry, she has to be a staple of every Jersey history book or else it won't sell, breaks into fame and fortune across America. And these eyewitness accounts are woven together by a single narrative voice, which I hope provides context and propels the story forward. And finally, the saga, the journey, ends back again in that beautiful and doomed summer of 1912. So before we start, let's talk about history. A few quotes here are on the slide. Far greater minds than I have pronounced about what history really means. Does anyone recognise the first quote, or any guess at who came up with that little jam? Or apparently Voltaire, one of the great enlightenment philosophers. History, one damn thing after another. Now that was actually regurgitated in even more direct form in the History Boys, if anyone's seen that particular play. Yeah, that's a pretty fatalistic and blunt view of history. And then another idea, history is like story. It depends who's telling it. The idea that history is written from the point of view of victors, so there are all kinds of prejudices and biases written into the historical account, or the improved version of events. Henry Ford, great industrialist, made billions in contemporary terms. He was a bit dismissive. History is more or less art. After all, if you'd asked people what they wanted, they would have wanted a faster horse, and he gave them something totally different. C.S. Lewis believed history is a story written by the finger of God. And my favourite one is probably Terry Pratchett at the end. History always has a few tricks up his frayed sleeve. It's been around a long time. So, to start off with, please at your table spend a few minutes, maybe just 2 or 3 minutes, discussing what does history mean to you? If you could sum it up in a single word, and by all means, whatever perspective you're coming from, if you're Christians, think about it through the perspective of faith and church history, or in secular terms, I don't mind. But if you could just summarise history in a single word, what would that be? 5 minutes, please.